So far, playing this game has sapped whatever enthusiasm I had for recording completely out of the window. This is why recently there's been gaps, because I am supposed to record, say, 2 or 3 episodes at once, and then I just end up doing one, because I play this, and I just, any energy I had, completely gone. And Katie summed it up better last episode, the one 6 days ago, better than I did. Something is supposed to happen with each scene. Something, just something. And I'm saying this because she summarized it better than I did. So far in this game, it's just been, yeah, this is great. I can't remember what I said last episode, but for me, if something was a good game, in 2 months, I'll remember them, or 1 or 2 months, I'll remember the names of all the characters. I mean, not all of them, but most of them. I'll be able to name who they are. Ask me this in a month, I'll have absolutely no idea. I couldn't even tell you that her name was Valerie from the last time I recorded. Let alone in, a month or 2. Anyway, a minute-long rant at the beginning of a video. I'm really sorry about forgetting our meeting. Don't worry, he doesn't care. He leans against the doorframe with one hand in his pocket, his lips twitching up into a smile. It's fine. I'm sorry for making you head all the way out here. Thank you for coming. He opens his mouth to say something and pauses as though trying to decide whether he should say it or not. Apparently he decides in the affirmative before he continues. See that entire sentence? Do you see how needless that was? He opens his mouth to say something and ponders, seems to ponder as to whether he should or not. Then, just cut that down in sentence, cut that sentence in half for you. I'm supposed to be having a video call with my grandma tonight, so I didn't want to be late, I'm sorry. No, it's fine, really. It was my fault in the first place for forgetting and making you wait at the library for ages. It was. Right, well, we should probably get started. We don't have much time. I nod in agreement and he starts leading me to his room. As we pass by the living room, I notice a boy around our age, lounging. He was lounging on the couch. That sounds something like a weird woodlice would do. It's lounged across the stone, lounging on the couch with a book in hand. He glances up at us and he seems rather surprised when his gaze falls on me. Hey, Luke, is that your friend over there? Luke's footsteps halt and he nods. This is Valerie, one of my partners in a project. Valerie, this is Zeke, my roommate. Hang on, is he Spanish? Because then that's thicker, but if he's not, it's Zeke. These things never quite work the way you think they do. Hi. I lift my hand in a small wave and Zeke gives me a friendly grin, but a curious look in his stare remains. I cock my head in confusion. Why is Zeke reacting to my presence here like this? Oh, I wonder. Maybe he thinks we're dating and it's completely impossible that Luke could have gotten a girlfriend. This is why he's surprised. Although, then again, it could be anything. It's not. Well, I'll be in my room if you need me, Zeke. Sure, good luck with your project. Luke gestures towards the hallway and I fall into place behind him once again. I try to ignore Zeke's stare, burning a hole in my back. Make yourself at home, I'll go get us some water. Holy hell, this is a small room. Where are we studying? That table is so small. That's gonna slaughter your back. You're not gonna have a back at the end of this fucking studying session. He makes his way out of the room and I seize the opportunity to study his room. It's smaller and tidier than I had expected and surprisingly lacking in books except for a row on the shelf near his bed. Curious, I shuffle closer and curiously pluck a book from its resting place, flipping it open. Oh my god. I let out a loud exclamation of surprise. At the same time, Luke returns and his gaze falls on the book in my hands. Be careful with that. He scurries over, wrestling the book gently from me, and I'm still so stunned that I make no move to stop him. Yeah, see? They make you think it's porn, but it's not going to be porn. It's going to be something awful. This is the first edition of Pride and Prejudice. Have you ever read that book? Don't. It's... Pride and Prejudice, I feel, is... It's for those people who want to say that the book was better than the film. Because that's all they will tell you. It's... It's really annoying. How much is that thing worth? He returns to the book in its place with a clear degree of caution, his motions light and slow, before turning to face me. One hand flies to the back of his neck, and he seems a little uneasy. It was my grandpa's. He gave it to me as a birthday present. You could probably sell it for a lot of money. Speechless, I can only shake my head in awe. Wow. I try to peer around him at the rest of the books on the shelf, noting the worn condition they're all in. Are they all first edition books as well? Well, the one nearest to us isn't. I mean, what's this? This looks like a robot. I'm presuming it's a radio. Or a speaker system? I don't know. It seems more befitting of his character to stereotypically have a radio, so I'll assume that's what it is. I don't watch TV, actually. I listen to the radio. It's like... Yeah, you have a laptop and you listen to it off that, though, don't you? But yeah, this looks like a colouring in book. Or some sort of bizarre art project drawn by a 16-year-old. God knows what the rest of them are. These three are actually the same. So are these two. I don't know, maybe they're series. Luke clears his throat in discomfort and gestures to the desk in the corner, a silent request for me to drop the topic. Swallowing the residue of my shock, I nod and follow him over to his desk, pulling out my laptop. Right, so, how much progress have you made for your part of the research? Not much, I'm afraid, I'm sorry. Wow. He's supposed to be the studious type and he just couldn't be asked. At my lack of reply, Luke turns to look at me, catching me still peeking curiously in the direction of his bookshelf out of the corner of my eye. I can only give him a sheepish smile in response. He shakes his head slowly, but I can tell he's trying to suppress a smile, his eyes gleaming with a hint of amusement. Sorry, I'll focus now. Tearing my eyes away from the magnetic book resting on the shelf, I attempt to concentrate on the work in front of me. It takes a while, but eventually I find myself absorbed in my task. Before long, we are... You see what I mean? Right, okay. So I have a way of reading things. You get used to doing this if you YouTube a lot, right? You read in a rather verbose way, like I tend to, you know, before long we were working alongside each other in a peaceful silence, and you subconsciously pick up what words to be high on, what words to be low on. The last 3 sentences I did not pay attention to at all. I was thinking about what I'm going to be doing tonight. That's this game in a nutshell. I stopped paying attention even when I'm, like, recording. I couldn't tell you what happened. What happened? Sorry, I'll focus now. Tearing my eyes away from the magnetic book resting on the shelf, I attempt to concentrate on the work in front of me. It takes a while, but eventually I find myself absorbed in the task. I couldn't tell you what happened there until I reread that. That's this game. It's lots of nothing. Ugh. I'm just hoping, I'm still praying to God that something is going to happen. It has to at some point. But I just flat out stopped paying attention. I'm playing Secret Hitler tonight with friends. I was thinking about that. Oh! Occasionally we'll throw out ideas for discussion or ask each other questions for clarification. And I'm amazed by how quickly we are making progress by helping each other out. At some point we decided to take a break, stretching the ease and soreness in my muscles. I look up with a hint of surprise and see Luke is silently offering me a chocolate bar. And then you looked up further and you realized it wasn't a chocolate bar that was black. Yes, please, thank you. He drops the chocolate bar into my palm and I peel the wrapper off and take a small bite. I moan in appreciation at the delicious chocolate. You don't need to describe every fucking detail. Like, I can assume that she's going to take off the wrapper. If she goes, I bite into the chocolate, my first thought isn't going to be, oh my god, now she's eating plastic, you know? Or now she's eating condensed paper, like... No! Wow, this tastes wonderful. I love chocolate. What a completely pointless comment. He's... Did someone just really say I love chocolate? I have to take the piss out of the mediocrity and boringness of this game. Like, I love chocolate. I love roast potatoes. It doesn't work with any food, does it? Like, surely if you've taken something from someone, and then you've eaten it, and you're showing signs of appreciation, You should really be saying thank you. You don't take something and go, wow, yeah. I love pizza. It's not an advert. It's just like, I love Cadbury's. You know, he seems to eye his snacks with a hesitant look before making up his mind and pushing the remaining chocolate bars on the table towards me. You can have the rest. Are you bribing me into not speaking about the first edition books I saw in your room today? It depends. Is it working? Possibly, only if you give me an explanation as well, though. He looks vaguely uncomfortable again, his hand flying to the back of his neck. There really isn't anything to tell. My grandfather collected these books and he gave them to me for my 18th birthday. He just gave away a whole priceless collection of classic literature. Your grandfather must be rich or just an insanely generous person. Or not particularly care about wealth. I don't know, I guess you could say he was very giving. I didn't miss Luke's use of the past tense or the sorrowful expression that fleets across his face. I mean, I get some people don't like to talk about it, but come on, you brought him up willingly and he... I don't know, you're 18, I thought you were 18, so it must have happened recently, there's probably a reason you're sad. Mentally, I kick myself. Good job, Valerie, way to go. I'm sorry for your loss. How's that your fault? What? How's that your fault? Wow, where'd you get that car from? Well, it's a funny story. My dad died in a car crash. That's your fault, and now I'm sad. You're right, you should blame yourself for that, Valerie. It was years ago, I'm fine. How fucking old are you now? He gave them to you for your 18th birthday, and he's died, and that was years ago. So presuming years means at least 4, he is at least 22. Yeah, fuck off. Despite his reassurance, there's still a hint of sadness in his dark eyes. Clearly, he was close to his grandfather. Hastily, I clear my throat and try to steer the subject to a safer area. You'd think he'd have put them away in his cupboard if every time they were brought up he was sad. So I didn't expect a literature major to only have a handful of books in his room, even if they do cost more than 50 books put together. I mean, there's like 15 there. That they probably cost more than 50, but whatever. I keep my books open in a separate room. Wait, you have a library in your apartment? The corner of his lips tug away into half a smile. Into my relief, the sadness in his expression fades away. It's not really a library, just a messy room full of bookshelves. You see, my roommate is also in literature. You can imagine the amount of books we would have combined. We didn't have a choice but to save a room for the books. Alright, now, I don't know if there are any literature majors watching this, and if so, I apologise first of all, but second of all, do you really read that many books in literature during uni that you would need your own room dedicated to books? Because I feel that would bankrupt anyone who wasn't upper middle class or higher. Like, where's someone who's poor gonna get a fucking room for a library? Oh, don't worry, we've got a library as well. There's a toilet in here. Well, it's multi-use, you know what I mean? Oh, impressive. Can I check it out later? God, this game is so dull, yet I still feel I'm enjoying myself. Somehow. Yes, of course. Just be careful, otherwise you might cause a landslide of books and be buried alive. His eyes twinkle in amusement and I grin back at him. You better tackle me out of the way if that happens or you'll be charged with murder. I don't think books can kill, unless we're talking about knowledge. Let's not go there. It wouldn't be my fault if you caused the accident itself. Would you just stand by and watch me die? Yes. Yes. You expect me to dive into that endless pit of books and pull you out? I throw my head back in laughter after shooting him a mock-wounded look. Yeah, that's not out of place. It's It's interesting how despite his usual quietness, he has a sharp wit and sense of humour that never fails to amuse me when he makes an appearance. Of course he does. There's a lull in conversation, and I return to snacking on chocolate, still grinning from our banter. Oh. Oh, it's just, yeah, this is a real conversation people are having. My head snaps up when Luke breaks the silence first with a sudden question. So why didn't you go to the party with Aaron? Huh? What do you mean? Luke fidgets a little, his fingers toying with a stray thread in his sweater. You should cut that off, mate. Isn't he a good friend of yours? Why didn't you go to the party with him? What? Oh. Yeah, I've known Aaron since high school. Not well, but still, we're friends now, I guess. But you know why I turned that offer down? I went to a gathering, not even a crowded party once in high school, and I immediately regretted it the second I walked in the room. Way too many people. I have a cricket ball in my hand. Now this is bigger than a string. I'm going to demonstrate again. Now, say I had two fingers like this. This cricket ball is now attached to everyone else's fingers. You're the only one who can see it. If you went to a party and everyone had this cricket ball stuck to their two fingers, like this, see, like this, all the time, would that make you sick? Or do you feel that somehow you'd be able to come over this grave situation of having a mild annoyance you'd forget within a while? Let me tell you something. Where I live, there are crickets. There are lots and lots and lots of crickets. Now, they chirp all the time. All the time. Every time I go outside, it's all you can hear. I've lived here for 14 years. I can't remember hearing them for the last 13 and a half years unless someone points them out. In fact, probably not even that. I probably got used to them within the first 2 to 3 months. What does this person do when she goes to like a club and people have wristbands around them? Like, I don't know, like just red wristbands. Because there are clubs that do that. You need a certain wristband to get in and out, etc. And to pay for your entry. Everyone has a red wristband in. They're driving, they're giving it, they're fucking all us, they dance around. All these red wristbands going in. How many times have you seen that and thrown up? Do you think that would genuinely be an issue? I just don't understand how that could possibly be a problem. Like, there are so many situations, and even I used a cricket ball, and then I immediately thought of a club where it fucking happens nightly, and no one has an issue with it. Whatever. A frown briefly appears on his forehead before he understands my meaning, and he nods in comprehension. Unfortunately, this reminder of the one thing we have in common, our heated conversation from the other day, resurfaces in my mind. And from telling the way Luke is averting his eyes, I'm sure he's remembering the same incident. The tension returns and the silence drags on until it finally becomes too intolerable. Oh, come on, just put me against the wall and fuck me! Come on, just do it! Anything to make this more exciting. I don't fucking know what I'm gonna choose. And I'm probably just gonna decide next episode. I don't particularly care about being on his bad route. Staying silent's an awful idea. Breaking the tension never quite gets through there. You have to make difficult decisions to get where you truly want in life. Sort of just giving away what I'm gonna choose, aren't I? You'll find out next episode. I have to say that to keep the tension going, which I ruined already.